Yes. So, good morning, everyone here. We have a seminar hall full of students, and we're so excited. They are also quite excited to start their new beginning. All these days, they were school-going children. Now
Yes.
they are college boys, college girls. So there is a quite a lot of transition going on in their mind, and they are all worried about their career. So they are stepping into a next phase of their life, and that is the time we want people like you to interact with them, motivate them, and then take them forward, and just show them how they can see vision as you saw vision in your career. So let me welcome our chief guest, Mr. Ashok Ramachandran, who is the CEO and President of Schindler India, quite a big name. And almost all the business community knows him very well because he is a man of vision. Next, let me extend a warm welcome to Sri Mahadevan Pillai, who is Dr. Sri Mahadevan Pillai, who is our principal, but unfortunately, he was not able to be present amongst us because he has underwent a small surgery and he had to keep away from this gathering today. And next, I would like to welcome Dr. Krishna Kumar Kishore, who is the Vice Principal of Ahalya School of Engineering and Technology. He is also the Executive Director of Ahalya Group of Institutions. And I would like to extend warm welcome to all the HODs, all the head of the departments, and the teachers, and all dear students who is present here, and all our staff who has helped me in organizing this session without any, because we have been doing this for almost 3 years, three days, working on setting this up. So with this much, now let us move on to the inaugural address. Before that, let me introduce our guest to you. Our guest, Mr. Ashok Ramachandran, I'll just go through a little bit of his background. He has done his BE in Instrumentation and Control from SRM University, after which he has done his ME in Industrial Engineering from Swinburne University of Technology, Melbourne, Australia. Soon after that, he joined Schindler, and his journey in Schindler started in 2006, and he has spent all his career, most of his career in Schindler. That's a great learning that we should all take from his career graph. And I would like you to speak. It will be really great if you could speak about that also here, because most of the students, they jump jobs and they lose their opportunity, and they stick on to the same job title till they retire. So you can give them a light on that. And he has also done many odd jobs. I used to read all your LinkedIn posts, and I also go through your YouTube videos. So you have given a lot of insight for the younger engineers. How should they plan and how should they look forward for the career? And you also said that you have got your communication skills from the BPO experience that you had. That's really great for you to share those things, because they feel that whatever I study is what I am going to live my career on. No, there are a lot of things that you can learn from each and every phase of your life. So the stage is all yours, Ashok. Please have a good session with our students, and we look forward for your visit to Ahalya campus very soon. Maybe
Sure.
once you get a little bit of free time, please do visit Ahalya campus. It's a worth visiting campus. Now the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me well?
Oh yes, very well.
Okay. Can the students hear me as well? Can you just nod?
Students, can you all hear him? Say big yes. Oh yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much. So first of all, good morning to everyone, and thank you so much to the Ahalya Institution for inviting me. One of my passion is interacting with students, and I don't miss an opportunity whenever I get one to be speaking to all of you. So today is a big day for all of you. First day of your life in campus, especially after a lot of stressful moments of COVID, still wondering if it's going to be a virtual college or in person college. And I'm glad to see all of you physically present here. I'm going to introduce myself as Ashok Ramachandran, and my goal in life is to create an army of leaders. Leadership with love is a quote that defines me as a person. By the way, I happen to be the CEO and president of Schindler India. I want all of you to think about this introduction. I have not focused on what I am. I have focused on what is that I want to achieve? What is my purpose of what I want to achieve. I want every one of you to think about this as to what is that you really want to achieve in your life. Now, I want to share a good and a bad news. The bad news first is I'm sure all your parents, your friends, your teachers in school would have all told you, right? Somehow finish your 12th standard, get into a college, your life is set. Well, my dear friends, the life is not at all set just because you've entered a college. It can be any college for that matter. Now, what is the good news? The good news is life is always set if you decide in your head that it is set. So, what I mean by that is, even after finishing college, you may think that you're not achieved your objective. Even after 5 years of experience, you may feel you haven't achieved your objective. Even after becoming a CEO, you can feel you haven't achieved your objective. Or at every point of time, you can say, I'm happy at the place where I am, and I'm going to take my next step. Let me just quickly take you all through my journey. I was born and raised in Chennai. I was born in a typical, lower middle class family, probably like most of you. Father was the only breadwinner, the housewife mother. And I had a very successful older sister, a very intelligent gold medalist, very beautiful. And I don't know how many of you can resonate with this. If you have a sister or a brother who is much, much more smarter than you studying in the same school, it's a big problem. And that was a big problem for me because all my teachers used to compare me with my sister. And they used to tell my parents, how come you have a son like this? Your daughter is so intelligent. But I was so lucky that my parents never scolded me or told me what I should be doing in my life. They always gave me the freedom. But I knew that my mother used to be always feeling bad about it because I wasn't an academically strong student, especially in the years where it mattered the most, 11th and 12th standard. I was very much into music. So I went to Padma Seshadri School in Chennai. Many of you may know the school. And there was a lot of encouragement for arts, music. And I thought that could be my career. So I used to be very busy singing advertisement jingles for Mr. Rahman, for Ilaiyaraaja. Used to be, going around the country giving music concerts and competitions. But the first time I faced failure was in my 11th standard physics and chemistry. And that was a huge setback because, I went to a CBSE school. Most students in my school, they study very well. They get more than 90% or above. And I still remember the physics teacher calling my parents and telling them that you have no scope with your son. I don't think he's going to go anywhere in life. He can't even do his physics exam. In Tamil, they say, right? Maadu megada layak. They felt that I was probably good for herding cows in the farm. And I'm sure a lot of parents also scold us with a similar kind of examples. So I had a lot of lack of confidence. Another event that happened, which I had a very strong impact in my head and my mind was, I think around 15 years old, I had a very unfortunate incident of being assaulted physically by some stranger on the road. And I did not understand what was happening. Somebody was trying to behave inappropriate with me. It was a male. And I did not understand what was that. But it had a very deep scar on my head and my life that I was very scared of going out and talking to people after that for almost a year. And then, this academic failure started happening. So I had a lot of low self-confidence. I thought that I probably am a very useless person and I won't be able to do much to make my parents proud of me. But that was one fire that was always alive, that I wanted to prove to my parents and to myself that I can do better. Now, after having not done so well in my academics, especially on the science subjects, ideally what I should have done is taken an arts or a commerce degree. But like most Indians, we all make the same mistake repeatedly. All my friends were doing engineering, so I thought I have to do engineering. I'm almost certain that there are many people sitting in this room today also not sure why you wanted to take engineering, but you've taken engineering. Don't feel bad. You're not alone. There are millions of you. But what I will share with all of you is how you can make this 4 years as useful and as effective as possible. So when I started my engineering, my first year was pretty good. I still remember sitting in a similar kind of induction, first day induction, all excited, hoping that I'm going to be the best engineer of my life. And first year was quite good. I didn't have much of a trouble. I did well in my exams as well, which I was a bit surprised. But then, third semester onwards, it was not the same cakewalk. I started failing multiple subjects. And those were the days when we didn't have much of internet. I graduated in 2002. We didn't have Facebook, YouTube, not much of opportunities. But one thing I want all of you to think about is, please remember that your college cannot give you all forms of learning and education. They will give you the formal education for engineering. But a lot of learning happens informally. And my first lesson to all of you is, please look at doing something along with your studies. Some kind of a part-time job, internship, anything that will give you more practical exposure to life. So one of the first things I did was I used to work for a shop, a music shop, selling CDs and cassettes. I was a salesperson part-time. During the weekends, I used to work for 3 hours on a Saturday and Sunday. Apart from getting some pocket money, I learned how to speak to customers, how to sell, how to interact, how to improve my communication skill. That is the start of things. Today, of course, colleges are exposing students to a lot of communication skills, presentation skills. But do not just depend on the college. We have to carve our own destiny. Maybe each one of you can take some initiative and go to your college management on how you can help bring better soft skill training to the students. A lot of students, for example, reach out to me directly and they arrange college talks for me with their students. This is all student-led initiative, not college-led initiatives. So side hustling, as I call it, is very, very important during your college time. That is where a lot of learning happens. Be very active in participating in the events. Doesn't matter only educational, but even cultural, sports activities, music, dance, drama, whatever you can do to improve your social skills is very, very important. Today, when I recruit people, doesn't matter if it is a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 college, there is a big gap between corporate and college. The campus to college transition is a big challenge that corporates face. My request to college management is to expose the students as much as possible to corporate side of the business, help them to engage with a lot of corporate leaders, give them more hands-on internship opportunities. That is where you start learning. So during my college, those days, again, we didn't have a lot of internship opportunities. It was not even a big thing those days. So I did a lot of those myself. And after graduating my 4 years of engineering with not so flying colors, Obviously, I had no opportunity to sit for placements because I didn't do so well. Now, I'm not going to propagate that please go and start failing your exams and you will become a CEO. That is not the message. The message is how can you utilize your 4 years to also develop your soft skills. And today, there are a lot of college students who are already running startups, who are running their own YouTube channel successfully, not providing fun entertainment, but educational entertainment content. For example, there's a student called Ishan Sharma, who studies in BITS Goa, and he even rejected placement because he already has his own company now. The 20-year-old guy. %99 of people, students, spend their time scrolling Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. There's 1% which uses all these social media for learning, and they implement and they have better habits. And that's what I want all of you to think about. See, there's nothing wrong in watching movies in Netflix or scrolling Instagram reels. But can you spend at least 30 minutes every day on something that will help you become better? Can you think of bringing in some good habits that will help you differentiate? See, remember that you're competing with lakhs of students. There are jobs available, but there is a big skill shortage. So you have to really differentiate yourself. And doing the same thing like everyone else, you will not get a better result. The first thing you can think about is who's going to be your friends. If your friends are those who are going to be spending time drinking, smoking, partying, doing drugs, then that's going to be your life as well. I had one policy in life. I decided that if I am touching a glass of alcohol or even buying a mobile phone, it will be from my own money. It will not be from my parents' money. I think we have no right to touch our parents' money and spend on things that is not good for you. You may earn your money, work hard, earn your money, and then you spend. It's different. You will get a lot of temptations. It is very natural. It's our age is like that. One thing that I repent of not picking up early in my life is being a spiritual person. I took it up much later. I'm not 60 years old, by the way. I'm 40 years old. I wish I had done it when I was 20. Now, spiritualism doesn't mean religion. Spiritualism doesn't mean you have to pray for 2 hours a day, chant mantras all day, or read the Bible all day, or read the Quran all day. Spiritualism is about knowing yourself. Just understand yourself and starting to form good habits. Most of you, I think, we run our day mindlessly, right? We don't have mindfulness. You're drinking coffee, you're watching mobile or watching TV. Maybe you can start from there. If you're drinking coffee, just drink coffee. That is a practicing of meditation in a very simple way. You don't have to close your eyes and sit in Padmasana to do meditation for half an hour. If you just focus on one thing, that itself is a meditation. It will help you improve your concentration. That is enough. That's a good start. So after my engineering, I couldn't find a job, but I found a job in a call center. I worked in a call center for about 1.5 years. I did door-to-door sales, selling Nokia phones, literally walking every street, knocking on doors, being rejected. As a student, I have done a lot of odd jobs, washing dishes, working in restaurants, cleaning tables, picking up beer bottles, picking up trash cans, working in a bar. And each one of those jobs really made me today who I am. I learned to respect people, whatever religion, culture, caste, male, female, lesbian, gay, bisexual, whatever they are, you respect people. I started my life very, very late, actually. I started working only at the age of 26. By the time I started working, most of my friends had already got one promotion and they become a manager. But I had a tremendous growth in my career. By the age of 29, I became a general manager. 31, I became the youngest managing director in Schindler Worldwide. At 38, I became the youngest CEO of Schindler Worldwide when I came to India. At the age of 39, I received Economic Times 40 Under 40 award as the only engineering CEO in India. So all my fellow winners were from startup, Amazon. They have all gone to big colleges, IITs and IIMs. And I'm very proud that I am not from any of those premium colleges. And you don't have to worry about it as well. It doesn't matter which college you go. It's how you really develop yourself as a person that will help you stand out. Standing out is very, very important. Being in social media, putting out good content, being a thought leader, personal branding, these are very, very important things. So when your college is organizing things, put your hand up. Tell them you want to be part of the organizing committee. Whether it is culturals, whether it is education based, be involved in various committees of the colleges. That's where you will learn. Be active in your classes to present. That's where you learn communication skills. Help your fellow students if you are good at something. It helps you interpersonal skills. These are the skills we are missing in graduates today. And I hope you all don't do the same mistake. I have never stood at any meeting in my company and I've told them that I'm the boss and you will listen to me. These are skills I learned as a student, helping people around, not bossing them around. There is a lot of negativity around us. Right from newspapers to internet, there's a lot of negativity around us. But we choose what to consume, negative or positive. Life will throw a lot of failures, a lot of challenges. But every failure, just remember to fail fast. Don't fail slow. So let's say that you have failed in an exam. Quickly write the re-exam and pass. Don't sit and cry. Don't sit and feel anxious, upset, sad. It will happen in various sectors. Maybe you are in a relationship with someone. They reject you. Just move on to the next person. Don't sit on it. Maybe you lost a job in a campus interview. Don't feel bad about it. Just move on to the next campus interview. You will not get everything in a platter. Please remember, you will have to struggle a lot. Every successful person has a lot of struggle. You don't see the struggle. You see all the nice things and you feel, wow, this person is always so happy. I wish I was like that. It was never like that. It was never, ever my students. It was never like that. There is a story that I remember. There was two people cutting a tree. There was a competition. The competition was whoever cuts the tree first gets an award. So they both start at 9 o'clock in the morning. Person A is cutting relentlessly without taking any break. Person B is taking a break every 2 hours for 10 minutes. Every time the person B takes a break, person A gets very happy. I think I'm going to win, you're going to lose. But person B ends up cutting the tree much earlier than before. Why do you think that happened? What was he doing during the break? He was sharpening the saw. He was making his knife sharper so he can cut the tree faster than the other person. Now, my question to all of you is, how do you sharpen your saw? How do you sharpen your mental saw, your physical saw? Physical fitness and mental fitness is very, very important. Just before pandemic, I was 90 kilos. Today, I'm 72 kilos. I think it's very important for you to have at least a 30-minute healthy workout in your life, whether it's a walk or you go to gym or you do some exercises at home, doesn't matter. Similarly, you have to work on your mental fitness. Mental fitness comes from breathing exercises, yoga, mindfulness, meditation. And you look at the list of all the successful people, they do all of these things. That's the difference between success and failure. People who fail keep talking about doing all these things. People who are successful, they just do it. They don't talk about it. The other story I remember is about Google. I'm sure everybody knows Google. Everybody has heard of the famous campus, the beautiful campus that Google has. They have an amazing pantry, the restaurant where people can go and eat food. So a lot of Google people were standing in the queue and they were asking to each other, what is the menu today? The menu was chole bhature. So this person tells the other person, "Arey, kal bhi chole bhature tha. Yesterday also we had chole bhature. And today also we are in chole bhature. Don't they know that we are Googlers?" And then there is another set of people saying that, "Thank God I have food today as well. I'm very blessed that even today I get food." And that is 1% of Google. That 1% of Google is making Google successful, what we see today. So I want to ask all of you to have some gratitude in life. Gratitude to your parents for sending you to such a college, paying all the fees. Gratitude to your family, friends, to your college professors, to the watchman who opened the gate for you today, to all the cleaners in the school, to your maids at home. You are all extremely fortunate, my dear friends, to have all these things in your life and have some gratitude for that. Be grateful to God, to be grateful to parents. Every day, I make my kids write gratitude for the day. 3 things that they should be thankful to anyone. It also helps you think positive. And when you think positive, good things happen. So I'm sure most of the things that I spoke today, maybe it has gone above your head. It's a very normal thing. I hope at least 1 or 2 things you have taken away as I finish this session, and I want to use the time to hear your questions, your anxieties, your concerns. If you are feeling all of these emotions, it's perfectly normal. We always joke that in India, people do engineering and then decide what to do in life. It is a fact. But you can decide whether you want to be an average engineer or a extraordinary engineer. I want to close by sharing with all of you my slogan that I use everywhere. I have a slogan I coined many years ago called Chasing Obscene Success. You can see there is even a board, here. It's a Chase Obscene Success board that my team gave me. Chasing obscene success is nothing but what can you do every day, even if it is a project submission, it is preparing for a small talk. Can you do it in a way that even you are proud of yourself? Whenever your teacher is assessing your assignment, they should say, wow, look at this. This is how you present a submission. If you can do that every day for everything you do, you will definitely chase amazing success, obscene success, both in your professional and personal life. Students, thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you found it useful and helpful for your life. And to the management and Bindu ma'am, thank you so much for inviting me. We can use this time now for some questions if the students have any.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can I just tell the students one more thing, that these are opportunities for you to make yourself visible to people like me. If you're feeling shy to ask question, you are not visible. But if
I'm sorry. After 4 years, they want to see themselves in your company.
Correct.
And then chase obscene success. So this is an opportunity for all of you. So make yourself visible to one of the youngest CEOs and presidents of India. You will not get such an opportunity all the time. I'm so thankful to Mr. Ashok for obliging to my request and spending this 1 hour. So we want the people like you to interact with our students, because this is how they know. They thought that these CEOs and presidents have horns and maybe they are people with golden spoons. Maybe they are born like that, but not all CEOs are like that. So you actually gave them such an insight. You said that how humble beginning you had, and then from each and every opportunity. And let me tell you one thing, this chasing obscene success is what caught my attention. When I listened to one of your videos, I just want to know, what is this guy talking about? What is this chasing obscene success? From then on, I listened to all your videos, and I started following you on LinkedIn, and then it ended up today.
Thank you.
And my son is also there in this group. I have joined him also here. So when I said that you are coming, so he also started following you. And he listened to one of your podcasts with who's that?
Ranveer.
Al-Habadi. Yes. Then he told me all these stories, whatever you said now. He actually told me all these things. So he has done this, he has done that. So children are quite excited. So I'll pass on this mic to the students now.
Thank you.
And let them ask questions. Okay, is the question done? Okay. See, Amit wants to know, what are the difficulties that you faced when you went to Australia? You have done your education here in India. After that, you went to Australia for your post-graduation in Swinburne. What are the difficulties? Maybe most of them may have plans to go abroad. So what are the cultural shock that you had?
I want to mention one thing, that first of all, if you want to pursue further education, you should not think only about going overseas, but you should think about going out of your hometown and living alone in a different city altogether. When I lived in Australia, it was a huge cultural shock for sure. It is very nice and sexy when you look at it from here. But living all alone without your parents, you have to make your living. You have to earn money to pay your food, your accommodation. You will have no time to enjoy. You will be busy studying or working because you don't have money to even buy rice or anything. Unless you come from a very wealthy family, that's a different question altogether. Now, I had only the school fees, the college fees, which was through an education loan. Rest of my expenses, I had to take care of myself. So So it is very, very challenging when you go alone as a foreign student. And but the learnings are immense. When you live alone, you take a lot of accountability, responsibility. You learn how to live life. You learn how to manage relationships, how to manage money. And I learned how to invest money by living alone. So that was the main challenges, I would say.
Thank you very much. Hope that has answered his question. And now, anyone else, please come. Okay, Arya wants to know, you know that everybody has expectations, maybe from parents, society. So they expect us to, something that we have not done in the past, they expect you to do in future, which we have no intention to do. We want to do something different. But then society has pressure. How to get over that pressure? How to say people that, yes, this is what I want to do, I will do this?
I think it's a very fair question and a very common problem most people face. My suggestion is, see, you have to only listen to your parents mainly. You can't listen to a whole lot of people around you. Everybody will have an opinion. If it is your parents, sit down and talk to them. Make them understand where you're coming from. So, for example, if you're, let's say you're joined engineering, but you're interested in entrepreneurship or you're interested in finance, you can think about doing that as a side hustle. Maybe part-time, you join some part-time job or some kind of a startup. Even from now, you can start that. And then you can convince your parents slowly how you are learning from that without giving up their dream of you being an engineer as well. But you have to work hard. You have to work long hours. If you want to just have fun and enjoy, then it's not going to work. Then you will be able to convince them. See, parents also want the best for you. So it's not like they want to damage your life. They think this is the right way. They don't have the exposure as well sometimes. So maybe you need to get them to listen also from people like me who have put out content on social media. That will help them understand. So that's what I will suggest.
Thank you very much. Hope, Arya, your question is answered. Now, another person. We have 15 more minutes of your time, right? Please use this 15 more minutes. After that, he's not. After that, we will definitely want you here. We will definitely get you here one day in flesh and blood.
Sure.
How can we all? You want more self-motivation, you mean? Any job in your life. So we can success. We don't be okay always. To get success. Okay, actually, I feel she is more asking about mindfulness kind of a thing, because she wants to know how to keep herself motivated all the time when she's up to doing something.
Okay.
How to get that going?
Sure. So I have a very simple philosophy, that most of the times we worry about doing anything because we fear failure. So two things is first thing is, if you fail, as I said before, you can fail fast. But second thing, which I use all the time, is I always think about what will be the worst case that can happen. The worst thing that can happen is I may fail in the task. But if I give my full motivation, if I give my full heart, there is a good chance that I will succeed. And even if I fail, I am still alive. I still have the energy. I still have the passion. I have the knowledge. I have the skills. I can come back again. That is why I never understand why people commit suicide and all these things. It is stupidity. Because there is never the end. The end, we write the end. Nobody can write the end. Stop comparing your life with anyone. Your life is your game. No two people can be the same. You look at somebody, they are wearing nice clothes, expensive watches, maybe a motorbike, car. Doesn't matter, Don't live their life. You live your own life and you create the destiny for your life that they will want to copy in future.
Thank you very much. Actually, it is like there is a saying, a human being cannot be broken. If you decide to be broken, that is your choice.
Correct.
The surroundings or the environment cannot make you broken.
We choose, we allow people to break us.
Yes. A little bit of motivation is needed.
Yeah, no, I said कि मलयालम
Beginning, right?
मलयालम മനസ്സിലാവും എനിക്ക് മലയാളത്തിൽ
Oh,
ചോദിക്കാം
മലയാളത്തിലും ചോദിക്കാം. He understands. Are you Malayali, by the way?
പാലക്കാടാ
Aha. Oh. അപ്പൊ ഇനി എന്നാ പാലക്കാട് വരിക?
പാലക്കാട് ഇനി അമ്പലത്തിലേക്ക് വരും കൊല്ലത്തിൽ ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം.
ഏതമ്പലത്തിലാ?
കാവുണ്ട് അവിടെ.
എവിടെയാ?
പത്തിരിപ്പാലിന്റെ അടുത്താണ്.
Oh, okay. So that day you will be visiting. After going to Kav, you will be visiting Ahalya campus.
Sure.
Done deal.
Okay.
ഇനിയിപ്പോ നമ്മുടെ ആൾക്കാരാ, ധൈര്യമായിട്ട് ചോദിച്ചോളൂ. How did you become a leader? Basically, that's what she want to know.
See, I don't think I decided to become a leader. It doesn't happen like that, It was an evolution. I was always, so whenever I was working, my focus was in that role, I have to do well. Then I want to do that role so well that everybody should say, Ki, this is how you should do this role. So first I became a normal executive. I was a quality engineer. I did that role so well, but I was always a people person. I was always helping people around me. So I had a natural people leadership quality, which my company saw. And then I also read a lot of books about leadership, spoke to good leaders, learned from others, and started practicing. That is why I always say you're learning, sharpening the saw. Are you sharpening your saw every day? Are you reading good books? I read about 10 books at least in a year, minimum. I speak to a lot of people who are other company CEOs and I ask them, how they manage their company. Learning from others is the best learning, so don't give up.
Thank you, Chaitra. Hope you got your answer. Ini. A little bit of motivation is needed.
Yeah, no, I said कि മലയാളത്തിൽ
Beginning, right?
മലയാളം മനസ്സിലാവും എനിക്ക് മലയാളത്തിൽ ചോദിക്കാം
മലയാളത്തിലും ചോദിക്കാം. He understands. Are you Malayali, by the way?
പാലക്കാടാ.
Aha. Oh. അപ്പൊ ഇനി എന്നാ പാലക്കാട് വരിക?
പാലക്കാട് ഇനി അമ്പലത്തിലേക്ക് വരും കൊല്ലത്തിൽ ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം.
ഏതമ്പലത്തിലാ?
കാവുണ്ട് അവിടെ.
എവിടെയാ?
പത്തിരിപ്പാലിന്റെ അടുത്താണ്.
Oh, okay. So that day you will be visiting. After going to Kav, you will be visiting Ahalya campus.
Sure.
Done deal.
Okay.
ഇനിയിപ്പോ നമ്മുടെ ആൾക്കാരാ, ധൈര്യമായിട്ട് ചോദിച്ചോളൂ. പേര് കിട്ടിയില്ല എനിക്ക്. Chaitra. Chaitra wants to know how did you become a leader? Basically, that's what she want to know.
See, I don't think I decided to become a leader. It doesn't happen like that, It was an evolution. I was always, so whenever I was working, my focus was in that role, I have to do well. Then I want to do that role so well that everybody should say, Ki, this is how you should do this role. So first I became a normal executive. I was a quality engineer. I did that role so well, but I was always a people person. I was always helping people around me. So I had a natural people leadership quality, which my company saw. And then I also read a lot of books about leadership, spoke to good leaders, learned from others, and started practicing. That is why I always say you're learning, sharpening the saw. Are you sharpening your saw every day? Are you reading good books? I read about 10 books at least in a year, minimum. I speak to a lot of people who are other company CEOs and I ask them, how they manage their company. Learning from others is the best learning, so don't give up.
Thank you, Chaitra. Hope you got your answer. Ini. I think he has time for one more question.
Sure.
One more question. Yes. There are 3 questions.
Okay.
Okay. Naveen has a question. He wants to know who is your role model? But who was or who is?
I have various role models. I don't think there is one specific role model per se. Many of them are my mentors, my bosses in my organization who helped groom me. But my parents are my biggest role models. In fact, yesterday I put a tweet which has gone viral. I can see, it's crossed huge views. I wrote about my parents and the mistakes I did as a child, and I still repent, not having spent enough time with my parents, not sharing my problems with them. I used to always think that they will get sad. Um, Not respecting them many times when I was a child. In fact, I still remember I used to hate my father till I was 22, 23 years old. Today, I repent for those things. So many of you may be in my shoes. Remember, you will miss your parents and you will love them more in future, but don't wait for the future because sometimes you may not even have them in your life. So my role models are my parents and many of my mentors who worked with me.
Thank you. And that was actually a lovely, I would say, an advice. Since I think my son has taken cue from that. Let him respect me more. There is one more. I think there are 2 more questions in line. Actually, Pranav wants to know, have you ever felt that I should give up all these things? I am done with it. I can't succeed. In such thing, yes, you're nodding very well. Yeah.
Many times. All the time, actually. I have felt it many times to give up everything at various stages, right? That's why I told everyone, that life is never settled. Everybody says that if you finish your college, you're settled. Then they will say if you get a job, you're settled. Then they will say if you're married, you're settled. Then they will say if you have a kid, you're settled. Every stage brings its own challenges and opportunities. It's how you take and look at life. Whenever I feel that way, I don't feel it for a long time. Thankfully, I'm a very easygoing person. I don't take life too seriously. If I fail also, I'm like, okay, fine, I failed. What do? I just move on. So having a very chalta hai attitude very, helps me a lot.
Thank you. Keep going. Ale.
Anyway,
the road is there. If the road is not, let us make a road.
Exactly.
One lovely one. Megha wants to know what was the most, maybe the happiest moment in your life.
My happiest moment was when I became a father. I think that is irreplaceable, right? Because it is not all in your hands. It's in the hands of Almighty. That's definitely my happiest moment. Of course, a lot of professional successes, happiest moments. I would say becoming CEO in India. I was very proud because, I was a failed student who came back to India as a successful younger CEO. And amongst all my college and schoolmates, I was only CEO. And most of my classmates went to BITS Pilani, IIT, IIM, top colleges, Stanford, Harvard, all of them went to, many of them, 95% of them went to top colleges. But I was from a very normal college and I still made it in life. I think I was able to give hope to a lot of students because majority of India is from this category. And I've given them hope. And now through all the work I'm doing in social media, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to inspire students. In fact, I request all the students, you can follow me on all my handles, Ashok Ramachandran on LinkedIn, Ash Ramachandran on Twitter and Instagram. And also I have a YouTube channel where I post videos for students mainly, which is Ashok Ramachandran as well. So please follow my channels. You will learn a lot of things if you want to learn, of course. If you don't want to learn, you don't have to follow, no problem with me. But if you really want to achieve something in life and learn from some experience, I would be glad for you to follow me. And you can also send me messages directly there and I will reply to all your messages.
I will request the students to connect you through LinkedIn. Maybe if your LinkedIn is not flooded, they can always get in touch with you too,
No
right?
problem. No problem. I'm also very active on other handles as well. If they are, in Instagram, they can message me. YouTube also, they can comment on my videos. I reply to them. So I'm very active on all the handles.
Thank you. Because most of them don't keep themselves open to the student crowd, because as they climb the ladder, they feel that all these younger ones are going to be nuisance to them. But I see you are a very different person.
Yes.
You kind of welcome all of them. So kind of he wants to know that third and fourth year, definitely they're allowed to study, worried about the placements and all that. How did you cope with that stress? Because they're anticipating that perhaps.
The biggest thing I want all of you to think about is don't worry about placement every day. Placement should be an outcome of how you develop yourself as a student. You should be focusing on upgrading yourself and becoming a mix of good knowledge and skills and talent. Then automatically placement will happen. And if placement doesn't happen as well, don't kill yourself over it. It is just one part of life. You can always find a job. And today, with all the internet access you have available, if you don't find a job, I will be very surprised. I would suggest that all students should already start connecting with companies to do internships, to do some part-time job. Don't expect money when you start doing that now. Build your profile, build your network, build your connection, build your personal brand. Automatically, you will all find a job. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And yeah, that's a mistake most of the young students make. They feel that placement will come in platter.
Yeah.
And the big figures, that is many zeros after the ones.
Correct.
So, add up without doing anything. So thank you very much for giving that awareness to them in the beginning itself, because let them have that awareness. Otherwise, they will not build. They will expect somebody else to give them the placement on a platter. It will come on a platter if you build yourself up. Anymore, if I think
I'm not trying, ma'am, so I have to go now.
Yeah, I know. He has a meeting at 10:30. Maybe you can say a farewell to the students, and once please do connect. Please visit us. We'll be glad to host you here.
Definitely, I will come. I'm very glad to interact with the students. I wish all of you best of luck. Don't worry about anything in life. Be happy every day. Be positive. When you wake up in the morning, say loudly that I am very happy today and I'm going to have a fantastic day. Automatically, a lot of positive energy will flow into your body and you can achieve. Keep chasing obscene success. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And let them say thank you to you.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So anyway, I'll connect you and I'll share this video also with you.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.